protests erupted across Mexico City.
This is a restaurant. Wow, the glass is broken. Oh man, this is crazy. Why aren't there any police?
More Americans moved to Mexico in 2024 and 2025 than any year in recent history. Some say it's the dream life: sunny beaches, cheap tacos, and rent that doesn't bankrupt you. But for many Mexicans, that dream looks more like a nightmare. Imagine this. You flee New York to escape $4,000 a month rent, only to move into a Mexico City apartment for $1,000 or even less, and still be told by the neighbors that you're ruining everything. So what's really happening here? In the next few minutes, we'll unpack why Americans are fleeing their own cities, the hidden cost of that migration, the mistakes that get expats deported, and the protests that might change everything. Stick around, especially if you're dreaming of moving to Mexico yourself. Let's start with the numbers. In just the first 4 months of 2024, over 625 Americans were granted residency visas in Mexico. That's double the number from the same period in 2023. And that trend has only accelerated through mid-2025. Since the pandemic, Mexico has quietly become the #1 foreign destination for U.S. citizens looking to start over. Over 1 million Americans now live in Mexico, the largest group of foreigners in the country. Why? Because compared to many U.S. cities, Mexico feels like a cheat code. The cost of living is lower, the healthcare is cheaper, and the climate is basically paradise. But what happens when paradise gets crowded? Here's what Americans are escaping: rent that eats half their paycheck, healthcare that costs more than a car, groceries that require a second mortgage, and a general feeling that things in the U.S. are broken. So they look south, and what do they see? In Mexico, a decent apartment in a trendy neighborhood for $700 a month, health insurance for about $500 a year, and tacos, glorious tacos, for like $1. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, maybe not for everyone. Let's talk about digital nomads. They're remote workers with MacBooks, Spotify Premium, and a habit of turning every coffee shop into a WeWork. Cities like Mexico City, Puerto Vallarta, and Tulum have become hotspots for Americans working remotely. But there's a downside. They often create an expat bubble. English-only restaurants, yoga in dollars, rent in USD, and local landlords are catching on. The result? Gentrification. In Mexico City, average rents in neighborhoods like Condesa and Roma jumped from $880 in 2020 to over $1,080 by 2023. Locals are being priced out of their own homes. And that's when the protests started. In mid-2025, protests erupted across Mexico City and several tourist-heavy towns. Hundreds of residents took to the streets in July 2025 with signs reading, "Mexico's not your playground. Gringos go home." This wasn't about tourists. It was about Americans moving in, outbidding locals, and acting like they still owned the place. It's not that Mexicans hate foreigners. They hate entitlement. Now, let's shift gears. If you're an American moving to Mexico, or thinking about it, here are the top 5 mistakes that can turn your dream life into a disaster. Number 1. Living on a tourist visa forever. The 180-day tourist visa is not guaranteed anymore. Immigration officers might give you 30 days, maybe 7, or just a cold stare. Number 2. Working illegally. Even remote work gets tricky. If you're earning money, Mexico might ask you for a work permit. Yes, even if your boss is in Ohio. Number 3. No health insurance. Medicare doesn't work here. Neither do most U.S. health plans. One hospital trip could bankrupt you. Number 4. Ignoring taxes. You still have to pay U.S. taxes. And if you make money in Mexico, congrats, you pay Mexican taxes too. Number 5. Not learning Spanish. This isn't Cancun. You can't assume everyone speaks English. Your landlord, your doctor, even your Uber driver. They probably won't. There's also this thing called mañana culture. In the US, if a plumber says 10 a.m., you expect him at 9:55. In Mexico, 10 a.m. could mean noon, or tomorrow, or never. And then there's the noise. Fireworks, parades, mariachi bands at 2 a.m. But you know what? It's culture, not a bug, a feature. So what's the solution? Americans need to come with respect, not just dollars. Apply for the right visa. Learn Spanish, live with the community, not just in it. Mexico isn't just America with better weather. Things work differently here, and you'll need to adapt. Mexico is beautiful, generous, alive, but it's not a playground. It's someone's home. So, would you move to Mexico? And if you already live there, are you blending in or just bringing your bubble with you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with a friend who's already browsing real estate in Oaxaca. Gracias, and buena suerte.